So hello and welcome to Ewe Sew You. This week we are trying something new. We are going to be doing a bit of basket weaving. It's not a tutorial by any way, shape or form. This is not a skill set that I have acquired as of yet. So we're going to have a go, we're going to have a bit of a try. A little while ago I bought myself a kit and an online course, video course on how to make a shopping basket from my own two hands. And then life happened. So I watched through all the lessons in the course when it first arrived. So that was, I'd say, a few months ago now. But haven't had a chance to do things like soaking the willow and getting it prepped ready for weaving. So I've rewatched the first section of the course up to the point of getting the base finished, and I'm going to work on the base this evening. It's about 8:30 at the moment, so I've soaked the willow that I need for the base and I'm letting it mellow at the minute, which basically means it's wrapped up in a blanket and resting, having been soaked. So you soak it for a few hours, mellow it for a few hours, and then it's ready to weave. So the course does suggest that you break the process down into essentially 3 bits: so the base, then the main part of the basket, and then the handle. So I'm doing that partly because I don't know how long it's going to take me. So by breaking it down, it helps manage my time a little bit better. I also don't know how quickly the willow is going to dry out. The willow that they've sent is called buff willow, and apparently that does dry out quicker than some other forms of willow, but it's also apparently easier to work with. So yeah, so I have a few tools to help me. I have no proper basket weaving tools because obviously not a craft I am used to. Now what I do have is secateurs from my gardening tools, so we need those. I've also got a box cutter because I don't have the knife that the basket weaver uses in the videos for the instructions, so hopefully that will work for this first step. For you have to cut a slit in some of the willow for the first bit of the base, so hopefully that'll work for that. If it doesn't, I have a screwdriver which I'll be using in the place of a bodkin later on. I might be using the handle of the screwdriver as well in place of the weaving iron, but I may also dig out my hammer because that's got a bit more weight to it, because obviously I don't have a proper one. I've put down a bit of board because putting holes in willow, I don't want to go into my carpet. Yeah, so that's my process. I'm just looking over what I've got here: my board, my tools. The willow that I don't need yet is still in its plastic bag so that the cat doesn't chew on it, and the rest is resting in its blanket. So I'm going to rewatch again the first bit, which is the slath. I can't remember how she said it. S-L-A-T-H, so it could be slath, could be slave, because English and logic, not a thing. So yeah, so I'm going to rewatch that first section and then do it. And then I'll rewatch the next section, which is weaving the base bit, and do that bit. And I will film snippets as I go. I'm hoping to get the base completed, as I say, this evening, so hopefully it's not going to take too long. And then we'll be doing the next bit tomorrow. At least that's the plan. Okay, so I'll be back to you in a bit once I've reminded myself what I need to do. Okay, so this is called tying in the slap, and on my first attempt I managed to crack one bit of willow, so I'm going to cut that bit off. And try again. It's quite awkward, this. But, we'll get there. This is the first one, it's not going to be brilliant. Don't use this as any form of how to do it, because I've not done it before. Now it's cracking again. It's that same one. I may end up swapping this for another willow if it keeps cracking. Should have enough for what I need still, because it's not a huge base. Yep, I'm going to try to from this end again, another willow out. Partly because I've maybe not mellowed it long enough, and partly because of the angle that it's been brought round at, because obviously I'm trying to get it in quite close. You obviously want your base to be quite firm. Okay, so there we go, there's my slap tied in. So far so mediocre. As I say, this is not a tutorial by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not obviously going to record absolutely everything I do in the making of this basket, because it's a paid for course. So yeah, it's very much me having a go, and let's see how I get on with the next bit. Okay, so at this point, I think I need a third hand. There's probably going to be some really kind of weird, hard to see angles filming this, because it not being something I'm used to doing. not entirely sure what the best angles are. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this and I'll show you what my attempt looks like when I get to the end. Okay, so here's my base. That's the underneath of the base. So the base domes upwards slightly. Hopefully it's doming up enough. It's not terrible. A little bit of looseness there. Didn't quite get the tension right in the early couple of rounds. And the spokes aren't too far off being evenly spread out, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's probably going to be a slightly misshapen basket by the time I finish, but it's the first one, so that's okay. As you can see, it's getting quite late now. So I haven't needed to use all of the wicker that I'm having set aside for this section, but I know it's better to have too much than not enough. So I'm going to do a bit of clearing up of the bits that have been cut off, and get everything organised, ready to soak the next section of willows for tomorrow, which will be setting the upset. Hoping that the English weather is going to play along and I'm going to be able to do that bit in the garden, because the willow rods for the upset are 6 foot long, which means I need a 12.5, 13 foot circle to operate in to get the upset in. I mean, I can do it in here, it's just going to be a little bit tight. So yeah, so I will see you probably tomorrow to get the upset put in. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, putting on the upset. So yeah, not a bad start. Not perfect, but not a bad start. so that's the main part of the basket done. Just waiting for the handle, so that'll be tomorrow's task. Okay, so the basket is finished. It is not the shape that the instructor did in the videos. Hers was much more upright. I mean, essentially it's wonky AF. There are clear beginner errors in it. Some of the weaving isn't as tight as it should be. Some of the wrapping of the handle got a little bit loose as I was doing the herringbone weave. I mean, how pretty is that? This side's the good side. The other side has got a bit of a dent in the side from where I wasn't quite controlling the upright, as well as someone with a bit of experience would do. And I managed to get the wraps out the side, which is not supposed to happen, and I didn't notice until I came to do the herringbone weave. But you know what? It's functional. It's wonky. It's made, it's finished, it will be used for storing stuff. So yeah, so I'm pretty pleased overall. Now the course itself, My Own Two Hands is the company. They sell the courses and the kits, and you can buy extra kits from them to make additional ones. I was so tempted to do that. I'm also quite tempted to try some of their other projects as well. So they've got a small number of courses on there compared to places like Skillshare and Crafty and all that sort of stuff. So it's just a few things. And there's one crochet project on there, which is a child's cardigan or jumper or something. I haven't looked too closely at that one. But it's mostly like heritage crafts. So basket weaving is the main one. There's a bit of blacksmithing on there, a bit of wood carving. So there's one where you can make spoon and things with whittling. So there's a small selection of heritage craft courses on there. They are beautifully shot. I mean, they should be. The guy that set up the company is like a BAFTA award-winning documentary filmmaker, so they should be beautiful. And they're really supportive as well. My kit got delayed on the way out. For some reason it didn't come to me for ages. But they were really responsive when I queried it and sent it out straight away. In fact, I didn't even need to complain. They saw a comment I'd made on one of their social media posts saying that I was waiting for it. And then they contacted me by email to say, oh, has it arrived yet? So yeah, really responsive customer services, so pleased with that. Because yeah, they without me having to contact them, chased it up themselves and got the kit resent. So yeah, so we'll most likely make another one of these shopping baskets and try and actually get it the shape that it's supposed to be. I think it's the controlling the uprights that I was having the issue with there. And where the spokes in the base weren't exactly 100% even. Obviously, as you go up the sides of the basket, particularly with the amount of flare I've got on mine, they're getting wider apart as they go up. I mean, you can see on this one, I've tried to correct it, just not quite succeeded, which is inexperience. And you can see here, they're closer together than the others. And again, I've been trying to correct it. I've been trying to correct the display as well as it goes up to get it more straight on the side. But like I say, it is functional. It's just a wider topped basket to what was intended. I wasn't 100% sure about how well I got the uprights in when I started doing the side. So I did some extra 3-rod wale, which is this bit here. This is the sturdy bit. So I did an extra round or two of that because that's the stronger form of the weaving according to the classes. So I figured if anything's going to hold the uprights in place, it's going to be an extra bit of that. And actually at that point, I'm probably not splaying out too far, but the shape was a bit sort of squared off on the corners. So I probably should have kept going up at that angle, looking at it. And then you have a slight flare out to the sides. And you can see I've got a big scoop on this side. But essentially all that means is I can fit more stuff in it. So that's not a problem. So yeah, really pleased overall. I would recommend taking a look at my own two hands. They can't send the kits to everywhere. They are good value for money because you get the course and the kit. I think this kit is about half the price of the course and the kit when you buy it as one, so it's quite reasonable. So you get all the supplies. For one of the like tools courses, they send you quite a lot of like equipment to be able to do it. I think it's making a woodsman's knife, I think is that one. But they send you like an angle grinder and stuff, as far as I can tell from the write up on the website. So the kits are good. You don't get the basket making tools with the Willow kits, but they do tell you what you can use as alternatives. So instead of using a bodkin, they like use a screwdriver. I found the screwdriver worked well for splitting the willow for the slat of the base as well. So that took place of the basketry knife and the bodkin. And I used the handle of my hammer as a wrapping iron because that's got a bit more weight to it than a screwdriver handle. So yeah, so they're pretty good kits. There's plenty of willow. I've got quite a bit of willow left over, so I'll find a use for that in the garden. Be good for tying up plants and things. So yeah, really pleased. We'll probably try the fruit basket at some point, which is what they recommend as like the of the basket ones. That's the simplest one that they say. So there was the option when I first bought this one to sort of switch to the fruit basket if you're finding this one too hard. They've also got a like simple introduction to working with Willow course on there now, which they didn't have when I ordered this, that does a heart and a star and like a tension tray that you can use for like a hot plate in the kitchen. So yes, a good range of courses. The courses are beautifully shot. They're all with mastercrafts people. So yeah, highly recommend. But I don't think they can send the kits everywhere. I don't think they can send them outside of mainland UK a lot of the time. The Highlands and the islands, or certainly the islands, they ask you to contact them to arrange courier, and that may be the case for outside of the UK as well. When I ordered this, they weren't sending outside of the UK, but they were putting people in touch with places they could get the kit. Northern Ireland in particular, they can't send the Willow there, but they, when I bought this kit, were putting people in contact with places in Northern Ireland where they could get the Willow. So yeah, there are definite issues with it. There are things that could be done better. That's the other thing that's really good about the course, is actually they're very good at setting expectations very early on in the course. In the first section, there's a whole bit on how your first basket will not turn out right. So they are managing the expectations there, and you can, as I say, order additional kits. You can buy multiple kits when you buy the course, so if you want to do it with some friends, you can do that. Or you can just buy multiple kits for yourself, or you can buy additional kits later. So yeah. Now to go fill this with stuff. So if you've enjoyed spending time at my company, I'd love to see you in my next video, which will be next weekend. In the meantime, you may be interested in watching this video here. But in the meantime, happy crafting and bye-bye for now.